Today's video is very important because making coins at the beginning of EAFC 24, it's already going to be tricky in its own regard. It will be a little easier if you have those 4,600 FIFA points from the Ultimate Edition, but there's going to be so many different trading methods and tactics to make coins at the beginning of the year. But once we have those coins, doubling, tripling, even quadrupling those coins overnight on the first day, second day, all the way through the first week is going to be vital to making the most coins early on. And knowing which players are going to do that for you, it's even harder. So today, we're covering all of the cards that are being released into EAFC 24. We have all the ratings, all the stats, and we're covering all of them today. We already went through the top 50, but today we're focusing on the cards that are going to make us the most coins early on, and also cards that you definitely want to stay away from. Let's hop into it. Starting with Barcelona, because they have a lot of different cards at higher and lower rateds that kind of fit the meta. These cards are going to be great investments, and we start with Koundé. His card, for me, stands out a ton. 85 rated center back, French Barcelona La Liga, 84 pace, 86 defense, 80 physicality, okay distribution stats, and a rating that can keep up. So that leads us into the next thing we got to think about. The 5 factors that lead to a perfect investment. The first of 5 factors is stats. And of course, it's going to be stats. You need good stats to be a good investment. Do not invest in a card with 53 pace. Please. And second is rating, which is something a lot of people overlook, even people who do know their way around the market. This tweet right here says that Gusto is going to be mega coins. He is not going to be mega coins. Follow my Twitter for more trading tips. But reason for that is he's 76 rated. The card, even if it did have insane stats, which it's all right, I guess, it's going to be less than 1,500 coins by day 2. Not mega coins. The third most important factor is league. If they play in a good league like La Liga, Premier League, sometimes Bundesliga, Serie A, or Ligue 1, but I think La Liga and Prem probably are top 2 for sure. And then we've got nation. So if they play for France, sometimes England, sometimes Spain, they can get good links, and it's easier to get them in a squad, which makes their price go up quicker. And finally, it's competition. Positional competition, most specifically. So if there's a billion different right backs from the Premier League, all with good stats to choose from, then they're not going to be that expensive. There's always going to be a cheaper option or another card to go with. But if there's only one good option, then that card tends to go up a ton. And before we move on from Barcelona, I don't know why Araujo got a pace downgrade. I've seen this man play. He is rapid. 79 is not justice, EA. Not justice. Real Madrid are home to meta this year, and I'm glad I'm covering it early in the video because there's so many good options. Valverde and Vinicius Jr. are obviously the high-tier, high-quality cards. So for example, Valverde, if he's 150k, 30 minutes into release, I think by day 3, he's probably getting close to 1 million coins. So he could go up by 5, 6, 7 times his price very easily. And that is why they're so good to get early on. So if you end up packing them, the answer is hold. If you can get enough coins, maybe from your FIFA points or a really good trading method, the answer is hold. But for most of us, that's going to be a little bit out of budget. So you're looking at cards like Rudiger, like Alaba, like Rodrigo, who are more than usable and good cards to invest in. And then you've also got players like Ferland Mendy. Lower rated, might not hold their value as long, but if anything tells us from previous FIFAs about Ferland Mendy, is that he holds his value no matter what his rating is, because there's not a lot of competition at left back in La Liga. Glory, glory, Man United! I'm not even a United fan, so that's for any of you who are. But this team is a little tricky. It's hard to follow up that Real Madrid team, but you're looking at a couple cards that I think could be okay investments, but aren't going to be the best. But let's start with one that is going to be the best, and that's Marcus Rashford. The card has all the stats in the right spots. He's got the nice skill move, weak foot combo. He's just a great meta card that's going to be very usable and very desirable. If you can get Marcus Rashford, that is a prime card to invest in. But I think there's a couple of cards in here that are going to be just in people's range of affordability that they're going to get over-invested in because they've expected these cards to go up like they have in past years, and those cards are Varane and Martial. Those cards are decent cards, but historically they've gone up a ton. People are going to expect it to happen again, and they just don't have the same stats they used to. Raphael Varane is a little bit slower with a little less physicality, and we've already seen Koundé, who's a better French center back. So we're looking at competition and worse stats and a little bit of overinvesting. I'd stay away. And I want to be clear, it's not to say that these cards won't go up. Pretty much everything will go up. We're looking for the cards that will go up the highest percentage. And before we move on, I just wanted to point out that Milinkovic-Savic is 86 rated again, and I know he went to Saudi League, but I mean, what more does this man need to do? He is incredible. Give him his deserved upgrade, EA. Français Statistiques. This is proof that there is competition at that center back spot in not only France, but in Premier League as well. Saliba's card, not looking too bad. And I'd invest in that probably before Varane. And Kolo Muani is somebody I got my eyes on. He's going to be in a more affordable range, but he could still rise a good percentage now that he has gotten a transfer from Frankfurt to PSG. He's going to get those links with not only the other French players and PSG players on the men's side, but you also got to think about the women as well. I don't know how many people are going Bundesliga this year, but I do know Upamecano is another meta French center back. And with all this competition, now I'm kind of wondering, do we go with Koundé? Do we go with Varane? Do we go with Saliba? Do we go with Upamecano? There might just be too many options. But I'm looking at cards like Musiala, who got a huge pace boost to 85, 86 overall rating, kind of checks all the boxes, and he's got a nice weak foot and skill move combo. Then you've got cards like Coman, who have super pace, and Davies with super pace. And those kind of cards do pretty well pretty early on in the game. For Manchester City, Kyle Walker is the card that stands out to me the most. 84 rated is perfect. He's got good pace, good defense, good physicality, always a good investment. I think he's going to be a good card to go for. And obviously Erling Haaland on the same tier as Valverde and Vinicius Jr. we talked about earlier. If you can afford him, he's great to go with. But there's a diamond in the rough in this team, and I think it's De Bruyne. Center attacking mid, not a ton of competition there, and yeah, a lot of people are going to overlook him because of the pace stat, but he's got great stats otherwise, even decent physicality, plus 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. I think he's going to be a card that people overlook, and he might be kind of cheap early on, but could rise a huge percentage as people start to complete their teams. So De Bruyne is a card that I'm going to keep my eye on. Even if it's not my favorite card to invest in, he could work out pretty well. Arsenal don't have a ton to stand out to me. I think Gabriel Jesus is my favorite if I had to choose one. And Napoli have some good cards, but I'm worried about Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia's links because unless you link them together, they really don't get the best chemistry otherwise. Linking to Georgia and linking to Nigeria, not great. Di Lorenzo looks like a decent card this year, but unless there's some other Italians you want to go with, again, there's just not going to be great links from Napoli. Chelsea have a lot of these starter cards like Gusto and Madueke. These cards are going to be decent for day one, but once people realize that the supply's coming in like crazy and that they've already got enough coins to get the next best card, they're going to sell their own Gusto and Madueke, and the card's going to be close to discard price by day 2. From Inter Milan, Quadrado is a card that's not the worst. He is a little low rated, so for low budgets, he is going to go up in price, but don't expect the percentage of returns that you're going to get on some of the cards that we've already talked about. Liverpool's tricky. You've obviously got the two obvious ones with Mo Salah and Van Dijk. I really do like Mo Salah, despite the fact that he links with no Egyptians in the game. Darwin Nunez, obviously there's a couple Uruguayans to go with, like Valverde. Then you've got Cody Gakpo, and there's going to be a ton of Dutch options, but Luis Diaz actually has some of the best stats that I've seen for a left winger, especially at his rating. Colombia doesn't have a ton to go with, but I think there will be enough Premier League teams where Luis Diaz actually does end up being a good card to go with. Newcastle have one of my favorites, if not my favorite investment from this video, and that's Sandro Tonali. You saw him on the thumbnail. He is like the new Conte, but better. It's incredible. Obviously, he's Italian and at Newcastle, but being that center defensive mid option for the entirety of the Premier League is going to be insane. And looking at these stats, 5 stats, 81 plus, 84 pace, and obviously he's going to get those Premier League links. This card is going to be perfect if you can get your hands on him. We mentioned Di Lorenzo, just talked about Tonali, and I think that opens up a little bit of opportunity to invest in some of these Italians at Juventus. Chiesa is a card that stands out to me right now. Nothing else really from this team. I don't think Kostic is going to be enough links to go up in price a ton. And then Bremer is, I mean, he's all right. I think he's going to be okay, but Chiesa is kind of the guy that I'm looking at from this team. I got 2 more teams to cover, but I do want to thank everybody who made it this far into the video by doing a giveaway of EAFC 24. So if you made it this far, comment FC24 hype down below. You'll be entered to win the copy of EAFC 24. The winner is pulled on September 19th. So if you made it this far, thank you again, get involved, and good luck. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It gives you extra luck. It doesn't, but I mean, do it anyway. If they gave Immobile 4-star skills, I'd be all over this card, but still not terrible. And we end with a banger. Galatasaray, I mean, I wouldn't touch a single card on this team. I'm not gonna lie. There's obviously a ton more clubs to cover, so if you want to see a part 2, just let me know. And go ahead and check me out on Twitter, on TikTok, and OnlyFans. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.